people are understanding better, or are they dopes like me who think you're acting?
Go f yourself, Chris. Little baby mean blow up your ass. Butter your own biscuit, fat ass. You, Chris. Off Colin, f that bitch. Butter your own biscuit, fat ass.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. We like it when bad things happen to bad people, and when somebody told me that there was a video out there of someone saying F you, Chris Cuomo, time and time again to Chris Cuomo while live on air, I said, I gotta see that. First off, who's Chris Cuomo? Chris Cuomo is a sick, degenerate, weirdo, roidhead, subliterate, low IQ goofball who used to have a show on CNN before he was summarily fired for protecting his brother in his sexual harassment inquiry that got his brother kicked out of office. He used to be the governor of New York, and this goofy little spongehead used to be his little protectorate at CNN. Chris Cuomo, in fact, was so egregious in his assistance of his Politico brother that he was on official email chains giving him PR advice while he had a show on CNN. It was really, really bad stuff, deeply unethical stuff. What's also deeply unethical is, of course, Chris Cuomo's dance moves. Chris Cuomo was filmed dancing. Again, in case you're wondering if he is Italian, this should absolutely prove it. Chris Cuomo was once called Fredo at a party. And, well, in case you're wondering if he's Italian, Fredo proves it.
I thought that's who you were.
No, punk is from the right call me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN.
You're much...
Fredo is from The Godfather. He was that weak brother.
Isn't that your
and
brother?
And they use it as an Italian aspersion. Any of you Italian?
I'm a little
Are you
bit.
Italian?
I got a little
it's a
bit.
f***ing insult to your people. It's an insult to your f***ing people. It's like the N-word for us.
It's like the N-word for us. It's the weak brother. But wouldn't you be the weak brother if you get comically large Q-tips made while you're on TV and do a gag while hundreds of thousands of people are dying of COVID inside of the nursing homes that you locked them up in? Wouldn't this be what the weak brother does?
Swab I'm holding up here now and for everybody at home. A very valuable object. There's only one company in the entire country that makes these up in Maine. All right, here's the swab. Is it true that this was the swab that the nurse was actually using on you, and that at first it went into your nose and disappeared, so that in scale, this was the actual swab that was being used to...
While this was happening, Andrew Cuomo was sentencing old people to be locked up in nursing homes with COVID-positive patients. When he knew that this was a respiratory virus, he was sentencing them to their deaths. He killed those people. And this is the expression of the Cuomo brothers having a gag and a laugh at it. Of course, this is why Tucker Carlson sent Cuomo off after he was fired from CNN with one of the better takedowns ever broadcast on TV.
Could barely speak English, wind up with a paying job on television. Was it some kind of weird affirmative action program for the illiterate? We never figured it out, but it was remarkable to see it. Sentence after badly mangled sentence. A bouillabaisse of incomprehensible grammar. You couldn't understand any of it. It was a kind of performance art. A communicator wholly unable to communicate. And then there was the weightlifting. There was nothing wrong with lifting weights or keeping in shape, obviously. But there was always something very wrong with the videos that Chris Cuomo had shot of himself and then put on the internet. Imagine wanting other people to see this.
Sorry, I've been really busy, but I am working out. I mean, let's be honest. You don't get to look like that by nothing. No, I'm kidding. Let's get a little pre-show pump.
What does it say?
Cuomo prime time. Hashtag let's get after it. 100 pounds, you know, just kind of just work it out. A little bit of light stuff. Yeah. 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 News time.
We were also using that Fred Flintstone dumbbell.
This is multitasking for a real man.
Oh, his poor staff. So yes, we did make fun of Chris Cuomo quite a bit on this show. In fact, pretty relentlessly for the past 5 years. Chris Cuomo was a buffoon. He was also, in the way that buffoons tend to be, incredibly self-righteous and false. Here he is, for example, pretending to emerge from self-imposed quarantine in his basement after recovering from COVID.
We had a huge day today in Casa Cuomo. Take a look at this. All right, here it is. The official re-entry from the basement. Cleared by CDC. A little sweaty. Just worked out. Happens. This is what I've been dreaming of, literally for weeks. This is the dream. Just to be back up here doing normal things.
Oh, his poor family. He pulled them into it. We learned later the whole thing was fake. Chris Cuomo hadn't quarantined. In fact, he'd been out and about, wandering around Long Island without a mask, yelling at anyone who questioned him. Now, no one else at the time in the media seemed bothered at all by this, but it struck us as a big deal. It was too phony. But his bosses didn't care. Before you knew it, Chris Cuomo was back on television, barking at you for, yes, not wearing a mask.
Boom, baby. And here's the actual article about that. This is the Blaze. CNN's Chris Cuomo stages emerging from weeks-long COVID quarantine, except he publicly broke quarantine, and then started getting in fights with people. Well, maybe it's because they called him Fredo. Donald Trump, of course, saying statement by Donald Trump. Great news. Television viewers, they have just suspended Chris Cuomo indefinitely. Big question is, was it because of the horrendous ratings, which in all fairness have permeated CNN, or was it because brothers are no longer governor? Probably both. Fredo is gone. Okay, that's the setup. That's why it makes me laugh a lot to watch Chris Cuomo get told to go F himself on TV multiple times. How did this happen? Chris Cuomo laughs as he interviews TikToker with Tourette's as she repeatedly tells him to F off and adopts a British accent. Well, that's pretty much all the explanation you need. Here's the clip.
And what do you hope you can do by taking the risks that you take so people can understand what you're dealing with?
I'm sorry, do you mind repeating the question? Ooh, f off.
What do you want people to learn?
I want people to learn that Tourette's is a neurological involuntary motor and vocal disorder. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. I don't tick 24/7, and there's a lot of little baby wings. Fuck off. You, Chris. There's a lot of things that people don't understand. Like, people think that cussing is with everyone who has Tourette syndrome.
Okay, so that's Chris Cuomo being told live on air to F off multiple times by somebody with Tourette's. Extremely satisfying. Chris Cuomo is a bad person, and probably not the first, nor will be the last person to tell Chris Cuomo to F off live on air. We applaud you, TikTok girl with Tourette's. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe, and stay based. See ya.